Homegrown Radio.
What do you do if you have a family member or friend who constantly disrespects you, gaslights you, never takes responsibility for any of their actions? Cutting off someone is not always an easy feat, and it can negatively impact your emotional, your physical, your spiritual, your mental well-being, but it has to be done. I am Dando Shabalala, and this is Women in Love, and of course you know that I am not alone. I am with the lovely Ep3. And of course, Kefila, how are you ladies?
All is well. Thank you for having us, Dando.
Very happy. It's Monday. We're happy to be here. It's springtime.
Yeah. So, we are talking about cutting off toxic family members or close friends. I mean, we know that it's not the easiest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Have you ladies ever experienced or had a situation where you had to cut someone off just for your own sanity and your own emotional well-being?
I personally had, and it's not an easy journey because there's always the cause of the root. That's the important thing, because the question with me was, what is the root cause? And if I have differences with one person, and how do other people get involved? They may get involved because they care. It's okay. We all care about each other because we're family, right? But at the end of the day, if I have resolved my differences with one particular person whom I have an issue with, I think that's okay. If we're deciding to put the past behind, it is okay. But however, to have other people now extending it to a place of hatred, then that is something which I don't understand, especially when the hatred keeps on going on. Because the one question remains, what do you hate me for? If only a person can just make it clear, I dislike you for XYZ, I hate you for XYZ, then you talk about that. Then it's worse when you sit with the person down. You try to resolve the issues. However, after resolving the issues, the person keeps taking you backwards to the very same process of emotions and feelings of being hated, being rejected, to a feeling of making you that you are being sidelined, you don't belong, you're not good enough, you're not part of the clan, the tribe, and you're not good enough to be liked, because that person, what they're doing, they're ripping off your self-esteem.
Oh, yes.
And the most important thing, which I've also picked up again, is that because it's family, right? It's okay to be an adult and reprimand me if I'm wrong. And it's okay for you to understand that I'm younger. But when I grow up and starting to have a voice, allow me to express myself, because I'm a human being. I've got feelings and emotions. Now I make my own decisions. I see things differently. Allow me to respect you for being a family member, for being a person which I'm supposed to have a relationship with, and love you. And at the same time, don't use I'm older than you. To me, it doesn't work anymore, because we've been manipulated by people who says, I have the highest authority, the command, the demand over you because I'm older than you. So what I buy into, let me respect you for how you treat me. Let me respect you for how you want to have a communion, a union with me. And put, I am older than you, because now it's a mechanism, a defense mechanism to manipulate another person and to actually destroy them, because what you're doing at the same time, I always say there's something about you that you don't like about yourself, hence you're projecting it on me.
Oh, yes.
Probably I have a strength which you so much do not like about me.
Yes.
You see it in me and you hate it so much. So what happens is you come back and fend me back with hatred. But the important thing is you cut off, because I'm after my own peace. I have 2 kids. I need to raise them and bring them in a good environment whereby they understand what is a communion of living together, of respecting and living a happy life means. I cannot repeat what has been done to me, because if I don't cut you off, I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing to my own kids.
That is so powerful, Satram. I want to know from you, how many chances did you give this particular person or people? Like, how long do you keep on going, and when did you know that, this is it, I am done, I am cutting this person off?
I like it because I recently just made the decision this year. I have made decisions previously, but because, family is family. And from there you get together again. But it happened, it dawned on me because after the passing of my mom, which was like 4 years ago, I'm like, okay, we still find ourselves in the very same predicament in which we could actually avoid it because literally there's no, there's no reason for us to continue like this. You know what I mean? Because I thought, everything was now being put past behind us because we spoke about it as adults, especially when a person say, I'm sorry, forgive me. You know what I mean? Those words are very powerful. But for you to repeat exactly the same thing over and over and be manipulated and try to get into my spirit because this is the only thing I'm trying to protect. Within you can take everything, but don't get into my own spirit because this is my inner self, this is my inner part. So I have forgiven them multiple times until quite recently, I think about 3 months ago, I then made a decision to say, you know what? I came alone to this world. I know it's family. I need them. And unfortunately, some of them I have to cut them because I now have to make a decisive decision and say, I'm growing older, I'm maturing. I will reach the point whereby I'm 60 and I've been constantly unhappy, sorting, resolving exactly the same thing which does not change. So if I decide to move myself from that kind of abuse, it can be verbal abuse, dysfunctional abuse, it is my choice. I see things differently. Now, this is what I always hear is,
yes, of course.
Yes.
They won't be there. But the most fortunate thing is that God gave us people. You'd be amazed. I always say, I don't need 100. I don't see 100 people on a monthly basis.
That's
I don't speak to 100 people on my WhatsApp. I don't speak to them on the phone on a monthly basis. If only I have 10, I'm happy. If only I know that there's finances which will bear me, I'm happy. If my kids are there, even if it's 5 people, I'm so happy. The important thing is my own inner peace and happiness. And nobody's going to give me that. So I have forgiven them multiple times, but I just felt I have reached a point whereby enough is enough.
I'm telling you.
And it comes with maturity.
Good for you for putting yourself first. And, I think the worst part is when someone apologizes to you and they do the same thing over and over again. I'd rather not receive an apology from you at all than, I feel like a fool because you've said sorry, I've forgiven you, and then you go and you repeat the same thing. I've made you aware of how it makes me feel. I've set boundaries that you keep on breaking, but you keep on apologizing. And you can't say that we are family. You are treating me like family.
That
when
is
you
so
disrespect my boundaries, So then why should I say that this is my family or this is a close friend, therefore I cannot cut them off?
That's so true.
What about you, Kifile?
Very powerful, my queens. It's okay to cut them off. I believe that, when you give love, it's not saying that automatically you're gonna get the love back, but get some respect, get some, some sort of, somebody saying, you know what, I realize that you are always there for me. We are living in times whereby people will suck you dry. They will suck you dry. It's a one-way street, according to them. Everything that they want, they take from you. They take, and never give. That's why I'm saying it's okay to cut them off. Because they will finish you off. They will drain you emotionally. They will drain you spiritually. You name it. I've lost people that I would say they were like my childhood friends. Because growing up now, I realize that I'm always giving. I'm always running around. I'm always going the extra mile. But when I need somebody, I find myself very alone. And I'm asking myself, why? Why should I go the extra mile? Why should I give so much of myself when people are just, selfish, if I can put it that way? So it's okay to cut them off. I agree 100%. It's a term. Powerful words, and it's very deep. And it's not easy to actually cut them off, but you come to a point where enough is enough.
And you know what I've also picked up is and this is from analyzing people's background, because I work with people, just from listening, is that if you come from a parenthood whereby your dad rejected you, or your mother rejected you, then you will end up being raised by your aunts, your uncle, or your grandmother, or it can be anybody, or you ended up living at your mom's cousins. So people think they have so much weight on you to bully you, to control you, to say whatever they want, forgetting that you're growing, because they're going to tell you, Uti, I raised you. Babakho wakushiya. I raised you. Unyogo wakushiya. Do you know what I'm saying? It is okay, but because we also came to the world not knowing why we're here. God wanted us to be here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If my mother or my dad couldn't pay you back, then how am I supposed to pay you back? Because I can only pay you back with love and respect. So that is another thing whereby it kind of get onto people, because it's been used as a mechanism to make you feel bad that I've spent so much money. It's okay if you're disrespecting them, then because there's always two sides to the story. But unfortunately, because I raised you, they always have so much power over you, forgetting that you've got your own voice, the voice that sees things with clarity to say, hang on a minute, I've got my own soul which I need to protect. I've got my own emotions which are so depleted. However, I would like to restore them, because I also have kids. What kind of a parent am I going to be if I raise my kids angry? What kind of relationship am I going to have if I'm forever angry because of the past, because of where I come from? So if you're listening and watching, just be careful of how you interact with the haters outside there, because they will affect and influence your life to take a different direction.
And you know what, you talk about being raised by a family member, a relative, an aunt or an uncle, is something that is so common in our communities, black communities. And you know, at the end of the day, you need to feel as if you owe that person for the rest of your life. They can speak to you in any way because they raised you. As you say, when your father or your mother left you, they spent money on school fees, they bought you clothes. And all of a sudden you've grown up, you have a job, you're working, and she thinks she's now better than me.
Exactly. Yes.
But I had no food. She's an orphan.
So true.
You know, but it is okay to cut people like that. Don't even feel guilty about it. It's fine. You were a child. You didn't ask to be born. You were put in that situation. You do not have to pay them for the rest of your lives.
Absolutely. And they feel entitled. You know, like, I did this for her, I put her through school, so she needs to pay me back now. You know? And it was beyond your control.
It was beyond your control. You were just a child. But I think, you know, we all agree that it is okay to cut toxic family members. You don't owe anyone your soul, as you say, just because you are family.
Of course.
The important thing, when you put your head on the pillow, you want to be able to sleep peacefully.
Peacefully.
Wake up peacefully. Yeah.